Hello guys, today I'm going to talk about my paring knives I made from hacksaw knives. These are made of a high-speed steel hacksaw knives. These are the two paring knives I made recently, and I I posted on Instagram. If you guys don't know, I have an Instagram as same as this YouTube channel. It's a leathertoolz, not S, but ends with a Z. You can check it out. I posted on Instagram that I made this knife, and I wanted to, you know, get this sharpened by professional knife sharpener. I sent these knives to him. He had a sharpening experience of 44 years, so I thought, why not I try him, to see what's the difference between, average people and my sharpening technique and his. Um, it came very sharp. Sharpness. I really think it was sharp, but the problem is I don't know why. He sharpens mostly Japanese kitchen knives or sushi knives, but he sharpens all kinds of knives. And what I sent him, this knife, it has a small edge like this, and it had to be flat, right? So, but he sharpens with the water stones that rolling around with the water. That it spins quite a bit fast, and I think what he made a mistake is that the flatness on the back has been a little bit off to my standard, and but it was sharp, so it, there's no problem with using it. But I didn't like the way of the edge was made. I correct even though I made some correction with the rough sandpaper on the glass, there are some minor imperfections still left here. See, for example, if you guys see, there is unflat spot right here. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys could see on a camera, but to my eye, this is very annoying. Okay, so I'm not sure you guys can see, but I I made this flat, okay, for myself, for the correction, but still at the tip of the edge there is a shallow spot where it's not flat. If I keep this and keep sharpening on this side and this side will not be sharp enough to pare the leather. So I need to completely make this side flat and make the correction on this side also. What's wrong is about this edge, you guys probably won't catch on the camera, but here it's a flat and it's more ground like this. It's going in like this. Okay, so I have to make this edge flat so that it can be used as a flat skiver, I mean straight skiver. Okay, so I need to make this side and flat and straight as possible. Okay, I'm going to make video how to do it. And this one, I made lots of correction for this one. This one had a bevel on ground, this part, and not flat steel. There's a grind marks right here, and this one I made it to almost flat here. I used rough sandpaper on the glass, and the edge is not straight. It's kind of like this, but I have to make this flat too, and flat. I made lots of corrections with the rough sandpaper. Now I need to correct this with sharpening stone. Before I tell you that, there's good advantage of gripping the knife. There is a teeth, little bit of left with the saw. This used to be a thaw teeth, and it's left here so that it can be used as a jimping of the knife. Jimping is like textured grip of the steel that can be used as a gripping purpose. this one has still have a left here, so that it can be used as a grip for the knives. So I can skive with the thumb place here and just push. Okay, it's not sharp, it's a rounded, it's a rounded part, so it doesn't feel sharp to the hand, but gives good grip. Okay, you may place grip on this side so that you can grab with your index finger and middle finger and flat spot on the thumb. I just wanted to my thumb to be more grippier than the other fingers, so that I could use a skiving knife also. Okay. Okay, just wanted to make sure the holes for the hanging on the wall or anything like that. Right, so the stones I'm going to use for the correction of the knife sharpening is this Matsunaga stone. It's a Sun Tiger brand. This Matsunaga company, based in Osaka, Japan, is a company who makes king stones. Okay, you might heard of king stones, King Deluxe, King 1000 grit and stuff. I have reviewed Kingstone 4000 grit ore stone on my YouTube channel. Now this is the same company but different brand name of the same company. It's again, it's a Matsunaga stone from Japan, and Sun Tiger brand and Kingstone both are equally fine, but Kingstone or King Deluxe is a little bit better in some case, but Sun Tiger is really good too. I believe Sun Tiger makes oil stones also, and lots of other stones. Mostly, I think, rough stones, coarse grits are Sun Tigers, and king stones are more like a fine grit, 1000 or 2000, 4000 stuff, and 6000 grit stones. Now, if I just take a quick look at the stones, it's a registered trademark number and tiger on a Japanese, World War II flag, and just number 1, and just made in Japan, Sun Tiger. And the size of the stone, it's 205 millimeter by 50 millimeter by 25 millimeter thickness. It's a Sun Tiger sharpening stone. One thing is there are no grits written on this paper box, nowhere. Okay, so I open the box and here's the sticker, and still there are no grits right on it. Okay, you guys, if you guys are familiar with sharpening stones, you guys will just instantly notice that this is around 200 or 300 grits. Okay, when I bought this stones, the dealer told me that this is 220 grit stones. And by just feeling it, yeah, I agree. It's very coarse stones, around 200 and 300 grits. So these are the good stones for correcting huge edge deformation. If your edge have a nick, like chip out, edge being crack. I mean, not crack. I mean, the edge being just taking some of the chips out of the edge, you may have to grind all of these. But if you use 1000 stones or 1000 grit stones or any medium to high grit water sharpening stones, you have to work a lot. But if you use these very coarse stones, you don't have to work as much as you do with the fine stones. So the coarse stones, the purpose of the coarse stone is that you sharpen. If you need to remove a lot of metal, you need to have coarse stones, and these are not that. It's not expensive, and it's a good way. Comparing the sandpaper and the sharpening stone, if you don't want to have a big space, you don't want to have a big space taken by the stones, or the shipping is a problem, it's okay to buy sandpaper to sharpen the knives, but sandpaper is not that cheap, and even though it's the same grit, I think sharpening stone is tougher on steels. So what I mean is that if I take this knife and sharpen on a sandpaper gets dull a lot faster than the sharpening stone. So even though I have a 220 grits sandpaper laying on a piece of glass, if I sharpen it, maybe like 10 strokes will just dull the sandpaper and becomes, you know, unworkable state where you have to throw it out and you have to find fresh spot and you just work it again. And the sandpaper, so sandpaper is really come in handy when sharpening knives, but if you are doing leathercraft a lot, if you are a knife guy, just get a water stones. These are really handy, and these coarse stones will just keep work on the steels a lot better. Okay, and one thing about coarse water stones is that the 6000 grit and stays flat, and these coarse stones doesn't stay flat as much as the fine grit water stones, because I'm not sure exactly why, but these particles, this is green carbide, and what the resin that holds together these carbides are digged in by these high-speed steels a lot faster on the coarse grits. So if you just keep doing it on the one spot, it will just dig up the stones a lot. Okay, so you need to move a lot of the stones across the stones, so that you have to make the surface of the stones flatter. I will explain in the details when I actually do the sharpening. Okay, so in the part 2, I'm going to actually try to correct the size and correct some mistakes he made, and I'm going to make this edge really sharp. This is now it's really dull because of the correction I made, and I'll make it even sharper than what he did. Okay, I'm quite disappointed by the Mastercraft sharpener. I thought he was going to do the amazing technique on sharpening the edges, but I guess just hand sharpening on Japanese stone is a lot better. Okay, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.